So last we covered security thing and a topology basic thing, like how topology we are going to maintain. So today we are going to start with a topology technical thing, like how we will configure physical data server, how we will configure physical schemas in physical architecture. Same thing, how we will create a context, then how we will create a logical architecture. So step one, first we need to, if you look into the architecture, this is here. In physical architecture, what we will do? We will create physical data servers, physical agents, and the physical schema. In logical architecture, we will create a logical schemas and agents. Then context is a separate creation, but assignment will be there in logical architecture. Logical architecture, we will assign context, but a creation is separate thing. Here. So we need to go to topology. You need to identify which technology you are going for. You need to identify which technology you are going for. So that technology you need to create data server. That is, go to that technology and right click, create new data server. For example, your source is Oracle, your target is Oracle. So all your source and target will be created in same technology, that is Oracle. For example, my source is Oracle and my target also Oracle. So I need to go to topology, physical architecture. Then there is a technology called Oracle. Right click and new data server. So data server is nothing but your complete database details, that is JDBC driver, or if you are going for JND driver, the driver details and the username password for the database. So click on new data server. So name, like you can give a reasonable name to understand. Okay, I am going to use source dev underscore ds. ds means data server. I have already created some users in my database, that is yes there. Then this is, if you are going for DB link directly, if you have a DB link, you can provide DB link. Otherwise, directly you can go for JDBC details. That is, go to JDBC tab, browse driver here, that is RP JDBC driver.
Okay.
Then go to JDBC URL, browse the URL, provide your host, port name and service ID details. Your host, port number and service ID details. For me, it's a local host. 1521 is the port number for me. So depending on your database host details, we need to provide this JDBC. So once you provide this host and port number service ID, save. Then click on test connection. So it is successful. So the credentials and everything is working perfectly. If you are going for other than JDBC, if you are going for JNDA connection, you can click on JNDA. Automatically it will replace. See here, JNDA. It's a Java native directory interface. That is another authentication. Otherwise, JDBC means default is JDBC. This is default JDBC. Okay. So name we can use a different name. That is, to understand the name, like name itself you can identify this is source or target. Then ending with particular naming convention. All data servers will end with DS. DS means data server. Then
Okay.
here we need to provide username password to connect the database. Username password. If we are going for database link, you can provide here database link. So currently we are going for directly JDBC driver, so it's not required. We can leave it empty.
Okay.
Then go to JDBC tab. Go to JDBC tab. Then there we need to select JDBC driver. JDBC driver. That is, here you can browse and select that.
Okay.
Then you need to select JDBC URL and you need to provide here all host, port number, service ID. So once you click on save, after saving you can click on test button. It will verify that connection is working on it. That is for test connection. So next, after creating data server, so you need to create physical schema for this. Successful. So go to that, create a data server, right click on data server and click on new physical schema.
Okay.
So once we create a data server, for that data server we need to create at least one physical schema. So why? Because the database having maybe more than one physical schema, right? Which schema you are going to use? Which schema
Okay.
you are going to use? That is, we need to create physical schema. So I'm going to use the same schema, that is yes there. So here there are two schemas concepts available. I will explain you what is this schema. This schema is nothing but your data schema, that is your where you are going to maintain your main tables. Main tables means, for example, if it is a target schema, all your target tables will be there in this schema. Regarding work schema, so work schema is mainly we are using for like staging table. Work schema is nothing but where we will maintain staging table. I told you, right, in ELT architecture, the staging will be there in target. The staging will be there in target.
Right.
In target itself, if you are going for there are multiple schemas. You can maintain same schema or you can maintain different schema. You can maintain same schema or you can maintain different schema. The staging itself, if you want to maintain same schema, you can provide both are same schema. Target. If you don't want to go for same schema, you can maintain, this is select different schema. You can select different schema. So that is called, see here. It will display available all schemas in this database.
Okay.
So if you want to go for the staging is nothing but all your transformation will happen, the data integration will happen, the staging. So it will create below tables at runtime. So ODI is creating staging tables at runtime. This is all the staging tables. Starting with, if it is error table, starting with $E. If it is a source table, starting with $C. If it is integration, it will start with $I. Okay. If it is indexes means it will create IX dollar. So this is the naming conventions for all your staging tables. These tables, if you mention here as the same schema, it will be created in same schema, or you can maintain different schema, or you can maintain different schema. So this is called data schema. We will call it data schema. This is data schema. This is main schema. This is main schema. So based on the requirement, never target or source. Sometimes our staging may be in source, maybe in target, maybe other than source, other than target. That is, if you are going for source, we will use this work schema. If you are going for target, that physical schema, work schema, we can use that. So that is, while creating physical schema, we need to mention both data schema, work schema. So later maybe you can use it or you can maybe we
Okay.
can ignore that, no problem. Okay, if you are going to use that, it will be useful, it will be activated like whenever you are using in your mappings. This is work schema. Okay, this is about schema. Normally source we won't use, but we need to select this option. Maybe later if you are going to use that, it will select this default as work schema. So this is the way we need to create physical schema for data. This is. So like this, how many you have an environment? So you need to create all data servers and physical schema. For each,
Okay.
like this, you need to create data servers and physical schemas. Like that, I have a 3 source servers, 3 target servers. Like yes, source, test, data server, username, yes test, yes test. I have already created in database level. So I'm using that. Then provide your JDBC details, localhost 1521 was. Save this. So while saving, it is giving one information you can see. That is, you need to create at least one physical schema for this data server. It is information only. It is information. Only you need to create at least one physical schema. So that is
Okay.
we are doing. So once you create a data server, you need to create a physical schema. Otherwise, you can't use that. It is not. If you are not creating physical schema, there is no use if you are creating data server. Okay. Then save and test connection.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely.
So there is a network.
521 5221
Okay.
port number.
Yeah. Yeah, successful. So then again we need to create physical schema for this also. So right click on that data server, create new physical schema. Save. Then I'm going to create one more data server. That is
Yeah.
source production DS. Username escort. So go to JDBC tab. Select JDBC driver. Select JDBC. So host name, port number. Save this. While saving, again it will give the information. You need to create at least one physical schema. If you can work it. Test the connection. Success. Again we need to create physical schema for this. So right click on data server, create new physical
Okay.
schema. So select your. Again it is giving information. So you need to create,
Okay.
like you need to assign this physical schema to your context and logical schema. So that's why it's a common process. This is information only. You can ignore this. Later we will assign the context. Okay. So like this I have created my source development,
Okay.
source test, source production. Same thing I have a target also. Okay, for target also we need to create target development server, target test server, target production server. The naming conventions is very important here. Why? Because everything is sitting into same technology. It is very difficult to identify you are not giving a proper name. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So target dev data server, cdev username, cdev password. Select your. Why? Because I am having all servers having same host and port number. Why? Because the training what I will do, I'm using only one database for all environment. But in real time
Okay.
it won't be there. In real time, in development, source development is different server, different port number, different host. And if your
Okay.
source production may be different server, that is host and port mode is different. Same thing for source test also. But here
Okay.
training, I don't have this many servers, so I'm using same database to explain the architecture how we will configure in. If source is different servers, if target is different server. Okay,
Okay.
the same database I'm using as a three schema. Each schema is one server. Then local host, port number, sorry, save this. Here's the connection. Successful. Again, we need to create physical schema for target development. And save this. Again, target test server. Then select your JDBC URL. Local host. Save it. Here's the connection. Successful. Right click, new physical. Save this. Then one more data server I'm going to create for target production. Target.
Okay.
So go to JDBC tab. Select the JDBC driver. Provide the JDBC URL. Local host. 31. Save this. And check the connection. Again, we need to create a physical schema for your target production server.
Ravi,
Yes.
the schema name contains tprod, right?
Yeah.
So tprod contains the tables and columns.
Yeah, everything will be there.
So like because in my system I do not have tprod and with the tables and columns. So how can I create the tprod?
Yeah, that is, you have to create all the users and you need to create the tables. That is the practice.
For the table, so what kind of tables I need to create? Like?
Any tables. You can go for standard Oracle tables, that is SH schema they are providing. Some tables. You go for
Okay.
so this is the list of tables they are providing for practice. Products, okay, sales, times for data warehousing.
Okay.
You can use the
Yes.
same tables as a source, and target you can create the same tables, and for empty without data, then you can load data from source to target.
So are these tables or any specific table for me?
Any tables to understand the basic data integration.
Okay. So
Okay.
you also created the same or you created the new things? New
I
tables?
have created same these orders and other tables as well as EMP department tables also.
Okay. So anyhow, so Oracle given the default tables you created for the test and the
Yeah.
order, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
schemas, I am creating these many schemas to explain the architecture, how it will be utilized in the same technology. Why? Because in Informatica, the source qualifier is different, target or qualifier, everything is different. There you can
Yes.
identify easily, okay, this is source, this is target. But in ODI, in topology, all sources and target, everything we need to configure here. So the basic
Okay.
thing here, the naming conversion, so you need to maintain, okay, this is source, this is target. Otherwise, it is very difficult to identify which one is source, which one is the target. So it is very difficult, right? For example, I'm not giving a name convention. I have a 6 data servers. How to identify this all are source and target means? You need to open that. You need to go to the credentials, then host. There, maybe based on your host, you can identify, okay, this is a production server or this is test server. Otherwise, it is very difficult to identify this is source or target. Okay.
Okay.
So based on that, you can identify naming convention only, you can identify on top of that. Okay, these are source servers, these are target servers.
Okay.
So that's so because of that architecture explaining, I have created 3 for source, 3 for target. Then next step, creating context. Context is like a set of environment servers. Okay, it will act as an
Okay.
environment. It will act as an
Mm-hmm.
environment. Like I am creating a new context.
Mm-hmm.
So I am giving development. Password is optional. If you want to give password,
Mm-hmm.
while execution, every execution it will ask password. If you are giving password
Okay.
here, every execution it will give password. Currently I am not giving any password. Save this. Again I am going to create one more context. Test. Save this. Production. Save this. So this is I have a 3 context. Like I told you, context act as an environment, and
Mm-hmm.
each context have set of physical data servers that is related to, for example, it is a dev context means that will be assigned all development related servers. If it is
Okay.
production, that will be assigned all production related server. That may be source, that may be target, anything
Mm-hmm.
but related to production, anything related to production. How it will identify this is source or this is target means again logical architecture is there. Again logical architecture is there. There we will define exactly how it will connect from your source separately, target separately. So this is context is one time creation. So we have created 3 contexts. Depending on your set of servers, you need to create a context. For example, you have 5 environment. You need to create a 5 context. Okay.
Okay.
Default you can make it as a development. So we are going to run default as development. Okay. Save this. The default have changed development. Then logical architecture. Then logical architecture. So in logical architecture, what we will do? We will create only logical schemas. So already we covered that is what is logical schema mean. It's like alias name of your physical schema. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
synonym or alias name of your physical schema, but it is not connecting to directly your physical schema. It is connecting to your first context. Always the logical will connect your context, then the context to your physical schema relationship. Here the relationship always your context, then context to
Yeah.
your physical
Physical.
schema relationship. But how it will identify with that I will explain you now. How it will create and assignment everything we need to do manually. So based on
Okay.
our assignment it will connect. Based on our assignment it will connect. So now I'm going to create a logical schema in logical architecture. I'm going to create logical schemas in logical. Close all this. So right click
Okay.
on your technology. Which technology you are going to use? So for me it's a source also Oracle, target also Oracle. So we need to create one logical schema for source, one logical schema for target. So right click, new logical schema, naming convention, same thing. Source, logical schema, or you can say Oracle LS. LS means logical schema. So here you can see context. For example, dev means you need to assign dev physical schema. See here,
Okay.
source dev physical schema. Global you can ignore that. Production,
Mm-hmm.
source production, then test, source test. Like this. This is your
Okay.
assignment. One source logical schema having 3 physical data servers, but
Mm-hmm.
that is not directly connecting. Based on context it is connecting. That is 2
Okay.
unique combination. One logical schema plus context is your one physical schema. If you select source logical schema plus development means it will connect your development server. If you select source logical schema plus production context means it will connect only one production schema. That is this logical schema having list of contexts. that context will be assigned to that physical schema. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the assignment. Like this, we are going to create another logical schema for target as well. So I'm going to create
Okay.
another logical schema for target. So target also same context will be there.
Okay, understood. Okay, understood.
Yeah. LS logical schema. So for development, we need to assign target development server. For production, target production server. For test, target test server. This is the assignment. Like this, we will assign, then save. If you look into my diagram, so this is the how the relationship here. First, your logical schema will connect your context. Logical schema. This is your logical schema. In logical architecture, we will create only logical schemas. In logical architecture, we will create only logical schemas. That logical schema will be having three contexts. That logical schema is having three contexts. This is three contexts you can see. Each context assigned to that related server. Development server, global means that server. If you select logical schema plus context as dev, it will connect to this dev server. If you select logical schema plus global as a context, it will connect only one physical schema. Same thing, if you select a logical schema plus production as a context, it will connect to production server. So this is the relationship between logical architecture, context, and a physical architecture. Always, it may be source or it may be target, anything. Okay? Particular logical schema will be connected to your context. That context will be assigned to your physical schema. The same thing we did, like we created physical data server first, physical schema, context, and logical schema. Now, if you go to your context, if you open your context, same relationship you can see. Go to schemas. Here you can see this is your source logical schema, physical schema. Target logical schema, physical schema. That is, we are in development context. That's why you can see development server. If you go to production context, go to schemas tab. Here you can see same thing. This is logical schema. The logical schema is connected to physical schema. So that assignment will be assigned once you assign in logical schema. Once we assign in logical schema, that will be affect all your context, all your physical schemas also. See, if you go to your physical schema, if you open your physical schema, go to context. What is the context here? This is your physical schema source development. That's why context is development, logical schema is source. If you go to target physical schema, the context will be dev and the logical schema is target. The assignment will be done automatically once we done in logical schema. Okay. Once we done in logical schema, that default assignment will be so done for logical to context, context to physical. So this is the relationship for all your data servers, physical schemas, context, and logical schemas. So based on this, you have to create all your data servers and physical schemas. Based on your environment, you need to create a context. Then you need to create a logical schema. But context, sometimes we will go for environment servers, sometimes we will go for set of servers. For example, I have 3 servers in US, 3 servers in UK or from India. So what I will do, I will create one context as US, I will create another context as India. So I will assign all my related servers to US, I will assign to one context. Like this. Simply context act as an environment or act as a set of servers. Set of servers, the related servers. Okay. So that is called context. So this is the way technically we need to configure all your source data servers, target data servers, then context and logical schema.
Okay.
So once you are ready with this, now you can move on designer, then you can create a models. You can create a models. So models is mainly metadata, that is your source and target. All your structure will be there. All your source and target tables, the tables, columns, constraints, everything will be there in models. So that is called, we need to create a model after finishing the topology configuration.
Okay.
So shall we start with the models?
No, today 10 o'clock hoga.
Okay.
Can we continue tomorrow
Okay.
as soon as possible?
Tomorrow we'll start with 8 or 8:30.
Yeah, yeah. We can make it at least 2 days, 8 days.
Okay. Okay, Raghav.